Well, greetings to you all who are watching. Happy New Year's. We are in the year 2022. And for many of us, we'll probably think back and think, well, gee, what happened last year? Anything good? Did anything good come out of 2020, out of 2021? And greetings to you from 2022. And I'd like to start there. I'd like to start with things that are good, that do come out of what may look like ashes and only bad, but there is good in the world and good things are happening. And our guest today is Jason White. And you might remember Jason through the newspaper and through fundraising. And I have an article here, and on his shirt, and Jason's going to talk to you in a bit here, but it says, "Not all wars are fought with guns." And I thought a little bit further that not all wars have a good outcome. And then below this it says, "Kidney disease warrior." And this is where we're going to begin today with good news and how God is at work in the world, even though sometimes we wonder, where is God? But Jason is an example of God's good work and God's good and saving grace. Jason, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that the space that we're in, that you share with me that you used to run around here as a child, and your family was involved in Sunday school, and this is your home place. And tell us a little bit about who you are and your journey throughout the last number of years.
Sure. I am a local farm boy. My parents were on a farm, and they still are to this day for 50 years. I went into law enforcement and food service. During my journey of my years, in the last couple of years, I've experienced some difficulties with kidney disease. So I met with some doctors and specialists, and I was very disappointed because it didn't seem like I was getting anywhere with certain doctors from the UW, and then I found one that took me basically under her wing. And we monitored my levels every 3 months, and then I went to 2 and then 1. Last year, well, actually it would have been 2020. In the summer, my kidney functions were at 45%. By the early spring of last year, 2021, I was in kidney failure. It's very difficult, but I'm here today to tell people that with positive outlook and being a believer of God, you can get through anything that you want to. I went on dialysis in April of 2021 because of my kidney functions going down to 10%, which your kidneys obviously flush out your toxins from your body. My body was not flushing those toxins out, causing a lot of problems with the toxins actually coming through my skin and causing irritation and itching and poisoning my body. So the dialysis I had to do. So I started dialysis, and during that time there was 2 people going through, there was many people that went, I should rephrase that, for the kidney transplant to see if they were a match for me. 2 of them, one of them I knew very well, and then in February of last year, I was contacted by a lady from Mayville.
Christine. Yep.
And she was going through the process. I've never met this woman in my life. So the process takes a long time. She had to go through many, many tests. She did not tell her children at that time. The only person that knew was myself, obviously the doctors, and her mother. So I did dialysis for 3 months. Obviously, very impatient because dialysis is not a life to have. I was balancing the dialysis 3 times a week, 4 hours at a time, and then going to work full time. I had some part-time jobs I had to quit just because I couldn't function anymore. I was so exhausting. It was very exhausting, which is normal. Most people don't work while they're on dialysis. So, let's see, sometime at the end of May, I received the good news that I had a match. And with the COVID going on last year, it took a little longer to actually have the surgery happen, but we had to do one post double check of all. There was a lot of parts in this. So June 22nd last year, I had my kidney transplant. So, and then last month, the 22nd of December, was my 6-month checkup, and I have all praises from my doctors.
First knew that you existed through the article in the paper that there was a sale or an auction or something.
From my catering business.
Yeah, and then I began, and I didn't know. I saw the name in the directory, and I started asking around, and then I don't know why I was gonna just call and say, like, do I know you? Like, are you a church member? I felt really, because the story was very moving, and I thought. And then it wasn't a long time after that of where I did reach out.
Yeah, because
and things were starting to get really real and all this and that. But
well, because my grandmother Evelyn White was in charge of the kitchen and funerals forever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I always did the cookie thing, and I always did the rummage sale, and Pat was here, and my Uncle Don White, he's here. So, you know, Grandma was a big part of this church for years. And my dad was, and then when he got married, we were raised Catholic, and then years ago I switched over to this church just because I liked how it was here, and I always did, because you know, everybody's got their own opinions, and my sisters even went to a different church. We were all raised Catholic, and I love this church, you know. So I've been here, I don't know, 15 years or something, a long time.
Is it all right if you share with us how you've been invited through the medical care team, the hospital, to be a spokesperson and an advocate for transplant?
So my doctor, my kidney doctor, who is not my doctor currently, because she deals with people who have kidney problems prior to dialysis, and then when you go on dialysis you get another doctor, and it's just, there's a lot of doctors. So I went through quite a few based off of what level you are for your transplant. If it's post or pre-transplant, there's different coordinators. So there's a lot of moving parts in this, and now I understand it more than I did before. I'm one of those people that are a go-getter, and I want to make a difference if I can. So I was reached out by my previous doctor, and she is one of the instructors at the UW school, medical school in Madison. And she asked me if I'd be interested in joining the 2022 kidney campaign for it's nationwide and statewide, to be a spokesman with them as being a survivor. So I'm working with the UW and some other doctors all over the state to be involved in this campaign with news articles, radio, TV, and the articles that have been printed. There was 3 series in the Daily Citizen. They're going to reach out to them as well, and so I met with them for an hour to tell my story to them, and they were taken back by how well the success was. A lot of the doctors that were listening to my story on Zoom, she's like, "You had me bawling." And these are doctors that, you know, see this every day from other states. And
I'm sure it's the same for them, that where they need more positivity,
Because they
right?
probably see a lot of, in this type
Right.
of, if you don't get the, I mean, there's people on dialysis 10, 15 years that I was seeing.
And personally, as a human being, you cannot live without some joy. I mean, if your job requires like doom and gloom every day,
It
I mean,
is.
it probably drives them to the edge of tears because it's a success story.
And that's
yeah,
exactly why I want people
yeah.
to reach out and donate. So the UW sent me a whole bunch of stuff. So I have like pins and stickers and all the stuff they sent me just to, hand out at some point, and, I gave each of my family a pin and it said, donate for life, family, something like family recipient. And then Christine, I gave her one being the donor. I gave her a whole bunch of them for her family too. I took her out for dinner at Benvenuto's right before Christmas. So we got to catch up. But
Yeah, so she can visit her
yeah.
other her body.
She must take care of that for
To
me.
see how- I mean, in a sense, you have a
We have a bond
connection.
together.
Yeah,
We do.
you share.
'Cause, and the only thing that's different with her now is her iron level's very low since the transplant. So she has her checkup this week, I believe she was saying. And my iron is actually low from this too, so I have to.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, pills can help that, iron pills. So, but yeah, no, it's beats sitting in a chair for 4 hours 3 times a week doing dialysis, because that's rough. It's rough.
And it also, as you envision, even if you envision like summer and the possibilities of the things that you can do, the chair is like chains, like sitting in
It is.
cell, in a sense.
Because it's 75, 80 degrees out and you want to go somewhere. And if you do want, and this happened to me right after I started dialysis, I had a weekend planned with my friends. I had to go to dialysis in the morning on Friday. After they were done, I left, drove 2 hours north, and I couldn't go in the hot tub because I had a port sticking out of me. So I had to put my feet in, and then I had to be back Sunday for dialysis on Monday because you can't skip, because otherwise the toxins build up in your body too fast.
There's a song they play at the 10 o'clock service. It's the Amazing Grace, but
Yep.
it's the version, the chains are gone, I've been set free.
Oh,
It must feel like that, those
It
chains.
is.
that-
I mean, I can get up and I can go. I don't have to be in an appointment every
Yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 a.m.
I want to thank you for sharing your story, and I want to thank God for bringing this good news to your life and healing and Christine. And I noticed when you said the doctor that you met, how she took you under her wing. I instantly thought of the angel and how God sends angels to care for us. And we all need encouragement, right?
Sure.
We all need someone to encourage us.
Yep.
What words would you share? What encouragement would you share with someone who's watching? Maybe they're not going through kidney failure or on dialysis, but maybe there's something else that they're struggling with that feels pretty rough like that. What words of encouragement and hope would you share with them?
I would say what got me through, obviously, is my family and my friends. But being positive and having that extra oomph in yourself. So if you feel that everything's going to be over with, it's the end, it's not. I think you need to be positive. I've even gotten more involved with being a part of God, praying more. More down the road, I'd like to get more involved with the church. It's just I'm very careful with due to the COVID, and my immune system is still very low and high risk of getting sick a lot faster than most people who have a normal immune system. I have been totally vaccinated with many different vaccines, and I have blood tests monthly. So, I feel positive on that, and I'm a strong person. and I don't give up. If I feel that if I would have just laid around the house, it would have been a different outcome. So being positive, being involved, and if you have nobody to talk to, contact the church. You know, pastor's been there for me.
I keep thinking about over Christmas, we were told, Emmanuel, that God is with us. And that God has certainly been with you and never turning God's back on you. And I would encourage the same words to you who are watching, that God is with you. And that's why Jason is here today, to not only share his story, but to witness that God is with you. That you may feel alone, but God knows what you're going through, and God sends his holy angels to wrap their wings around you. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
And God's blessings to you and your healing, and that whatever else comes your way, that God will also see you through that. As your shirt says, and I love this, not all wars are fought with guns. A kidney disease warrior. There is good things that come, even though it looks bad and it seems bad. In this case, and we thank Christine. If you know Christine, thank her as well and bless her. So, thank you for being with us. Thank you, Jason.
Thanks for having me.
And many of you might know Jason, so if you see him on the street, or you can, send him a text or a note or a card or something, I'm sure he'd appreciate that. So God's blessings to you all. See you next month.
Thank you. Happy New Year.